I know you revisit those old episodes of Next Top Model. And, we thought it all changed in 2016, but it's always been a hellscape.
That classic moment where she loses her mind on the girl and she says, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Yeah. You watch her explode on this girl who truly is just here to pursue her dreams. And then after the girl leaves, walks up to the rest of the group and goes, whew, were y'all scared back there? I was scared too. It's like, fuck you, Tyra. You did it. You were the scary person.
I really identify with the girl in that scenario. Because she was just there being like, it's fine. I don't have any emotions. And like, that's how I live my life.
Yeah. You're nailing it.
Thanks.
If not feeling stuff is the way to go for you, you're cruising. You're doing great.
That's right.
Yep. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another phenomenal episode of My Mama Told Me, the podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of Black conspiracy theories, and we finally work to prove that, yes, Jada Pinkett Smith may be having a sexual affair with Ghost Tupac, but Will Smith is having sex with that bug alien who wanted sugar from Men in Black. They're both cheating on each other in a futuristic, heroic fashion, and I love it. I support it. Who needs a monogamous relationship anymore? Go have sex with strange spiritual creatures is what I say to myself at night as I lay next to my wife, resentful that she wants me to stay with her forever. How dare she? I want to fuck a ghost. Anyway, I'm your host, Langston Kerman, as always, coming in. I'm misbehaving, y'all. I ain't supposed to act like this, but this is the behavior I chose for myself. I'm a father now. I'm not supposed to talk this way or do these things, but that baby don't speak English, and until then, I'm going to keep acting the way I act. You know who doesn't misbehave? You know who really, she just shows up with just polite, respectful behavior every time we've ever interacted with each other. It's my guest today. She's phenomenal. She's an actress, a singer, a performer of all types. You know her from The Bold Type. You know her from a new Audible production called Haunt the Johnsons that she and I had the pleasure of working with each other on. She's so cool, so funny, so talented. Give it up for my guest, Miss Aisha Dee. Hey.
Hello.
How are you?
You're a dad?
Yeah, as of 5 days ago, there's a new human in our home.
Whoa, is that really scary?
Yeah, I
would be like, you're gonna let me take this home?
Yeah, that honestly, that was the craziest part. Is that like at one point we just kind of looked over at each other and we were like, so no one else is in charge. Like nobody else is gonna intervene and be like, hey, y'all can't do that. Cut that out.
Yeah.
Like we could do whatever we want to this human, and that's crazy.
It's pretty wild. I don't trust you, but I'm just kidding. You're going to be a great dad. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, no,
So
I'm
cool.
very excited. She's a cool little baby so far. We're enjoying her company quite a bit. We don't have time to talk about my stupid ass baby because we need to get into your conspiracy theory. You came with a conspiracy theory that I would say is not one that I would classically associate with the Black community of America. It is not necessarily a traditionally African American, if we're going to put that heavy ass word on it, conspiracy theory, but it is one that I think has undertones of a lot of the shit that Black people complain about all the time. And I'm excited to hear your experience as a person not from America, at least originally. So let's unpack. I want to make sure I get this right. You said, my mama told me.
The government puts fluoride in our water as a tool for mind control.
That's right.
Tell me more.
I think this is something, my mom is white from Australia. She's a cute little Australian white lady. And then my dad is from New York. He's Black. And this is like one thing that I think everyone can agree on. Like, as far as everyone in my family is concerned, nobody trusts the government. And when I was like, I think I was probably like 13, my mom went crazy. I mean, she's always been a little bit crazy, a little bit kooky, but she decided to buy this really expensive, like, we had to save up for it as a family, this water filter that was supposed to take out all the fluoride, had some fancy name that I don't even remember now. And, I don't believe any of the things that my mom says, but that one thing I have taken with me, like, I don't drink any tap water. I drink the expensive stuff. I'm bougie now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so you generally avoid what your mom says, at least in terms of her conspiratorial suggestions. Let's go that way.
Yeah.
But with the fluoride, you're like, nah, I'm bought in. That filtered water, it tastes safe. It tastes like protection from the government's trickery.
It tastes fancy, I think, is the most important thing. And I'm like very brand loyal when it comes to like my water and my moisturizer. Wouldn't be caught dead, like ashy or dehydrated.
Okay. And what is, may I ask, what is the best way to hydrate if we got to go fancy water for you? Where's your go-to bottled product?
Look, they're not paying me for this, but I'll do it.
Hell yeah.
Mountain Valley spring water.
Whoa.
They come in the big green bottles.
Yeah, the glass joints.
Yeah. Something about drinking out of glass, it just makes you feel like. And glass is better to recycle, I've heard.
Okay. I don't even know that recycling's real anymore, if we're being honest.
No.
I feel like a lot of it's just getting dumped in the exact same landfills, and we're being told, you did a good job, big man. Thanks for helping.
I'll take it. I'll take any validation I can get at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you're a Mountain Valley girl. I myself, I think if I had to pick off the top of my head, Fiji might be the thing that pops in my head, but Fiji is not good for the planet. That feels like it's doing a lot of corrupt things, both in terms of the plastic and, I don't know, what y'all doing to the Fijian people to be able to get this shit? You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm going to validate you here. I know more than I thought about water. I'm realizing Fiji is Tyra Banks's water.
Whoa! Wait, really? Holy shit!
So I mean, I don't know what you would call that in terms of like degrees of separation, but like it feels like you and Tyra would be friends.
Oh, I don't want that at all. Tyra Banks seems super toxic and not a good person to spend time with after a while. Okay, so your mom introduces this filtered water to your life. At the time, are you resentful of being asked to specifically only drink water from this filtered space? Or are you like, hell yeah, mom's on the right track immediately?
Well, I did make fun of her because she was convinced that she would be able to taste the difference. So I gave her like a bunch of different glasses of water.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so which one is the... reverse osmosis was what it was called. This water filter. Very fancy.
Yeah.
And she did get it right.
Oh, shit.
Like,
so she could actually taste the difference.
Yeah, I don't know. I was convinced after that. And then, I started to like notice a difference with my health. I was like, oh, this has been my problem the whole time.
Yeah.
Now I'm fixed because I'm drinking better water.
Because I've taken all that fluoride out. Now I can really stretch the way that I wanted to. Before I was barely touching my toes.
Mm-hmm. She's doing the splits now.
What do you think, or what is your mother's claim that the government wanted to do with all of this added fluoride? What is, beside, like, obviously mind control is sort of a general suggestion, but what specifically do you think their aim was with all of this?
Well, from what my mom said, and I'm quoting my mom more than I would like to, but she really felt that the fluoride was there to basically numb us. My mom's an opera singer. She's like an artist, so she's very emotional. And she was like, the fluoride is in the water to basically numb us into this stasis so that we don't question things.
Whoa.
I know, it's quite deep. And then I'll believe that. It doesn't take much to convince me of that, really.
Okay, so you immediately were like, "Fuck yeah, I don't want to be numb. I'll take the fluorinated. I don't know
think
the
it's
correct
Florinetia.
Yeah, I know there's an N if you say a certain version of the word, and then not if you say the other version. So let's just say both, and then that'll be a safety check. You know,
that's right. Yeah, I mean, I like emotions, and I like to feel things and question things, and I just believed it, and I still believe it, because you hear things like around the way that make
okay. Wait, what? Like at the local bodega, they're like, "Hey, don't get that because that's got fluoride in it." Like, what do you mean around the way?
Well, like nobody likes LA. Like people live here, and I'm here now. But I feel like the city, maybe the toxicity is really just because the water is so bad.
Oh.
And then New York is like a little bit better because it's a cooler city because the water is better. Like, I feel like there's something to this.
Yeah. So you're saying that we all, despite the fact that we are all sort of resentful of our LA experience, that like we're constantly isolated and being put down by executives who should not have power at all, but somehow have the most power any of us can calculate.
Yes.
That despite those bad feelings, it is the fluoride in the water that makes us okay with those bad feelings and want to stay in this dry, sad place.
Yeah, it's like you get stuck here,
Whoa. Damn.
Is it too deep? Or am I going too deep?
Not too deep? No, it don't go too deep around here.
Okay.
But you are going deep, and I'm enjoying spelunking with you into this this wild cave of a conversation. So you still maintain that there might be some level of mind control being introduced through water with fluoride in it. Let me ask you this question, because your mother, you said, is a person who challenges, she questions, she's an artist, she wants to feel things. Was she being raised drinking fluorinated water? Did she have water with fluoride before this? Or was she drinking not that, and then suddenly it got introduced at a certain point in her life?
Well, no, this all happened very fast, and I remember it quite vividly,
Yeah.
Before that, I don't even think we had a Brita in the home. We were just drinking like whatever came out of the tap. And
sure.
My family's they're not fancy. There's just this one detail. My mom specifically has really just taken all the way to 100,
Which I think maybe makes it more believable in that way. That like if you have a family where everything is expensive, everything is fancy, everything has like these specific, little tools on it that ensures the best quality of whatever the fuck, then you go, okay, some of this is exaggerated. You don't actually need these things. This is just you being pretentious. But if you just eat regular food and sleep on regular beds, but then you're like, yo, don't fucking touch water that isn't filtered through this machine, then you go, okay, you're really passionate about this in a way that you're not in other parts of your life, which makes me think you might be onto something.
Yeah, no, they're not like, nobody's doing the organic thing. Nobody's doing the vegan thing. They're like on the west side of Melbourne, like in Australia. Yeah. They're chilling. They're not.
Yeah, I have no frame of reference for what west side of Melbourne means, but it sounds awful. It sounds like the fucking streets.
It's the west side. Like people on the east side of Melbourne call the west side of Melbourne like the poo farm.
Oh, shit.
That's real.
What's up, bad? So I've only been to Melbourne once, and I had a lovely time, and I don't know which side of it I was on, but I feel like it was like down. I was probably near like a downtownish kind of vibe, if that's a thing that y'all have.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Melbourne's a amazing city. I didn't grow up there for most of my childhood, but that's where a lot of my family are now.
Yeah.
Melbourne's fucking amazing. But, the west side is known as the poo farm. I have to defend the west side of Melbourne because I love the west side of Melbourne. I don't want all my west side peeps to like come for me. I'm saying what has been said. I'm not saying my opinion of the west side of Melbourne.
This is not you you substantiating the things that they're saying. You're merely documenting what has been said.
I'm merely a documentarian.
Oh, sure.
That's it.
And what a place to start your work as a documentarian than here on this very unhealthy podcast, this super toxic thing that we've built.
Figured it's about time to get a real job. You know, I've been playing make-believe my entire life.
Yeah, this feels like Melissa McCarthy doing that Bob Ross documentary. You know, it's just, we all got to commit to the real shit at some point.
It's exactly like that. Yeah.
Okay, so your mom believes this. You pull this into your own life. Are you then becoming the type of person who wants to spread this information to others? Or are you like, if y'all want to be mind controlled, go crazy. I just personally don't plan to do that.
I am like a walking advertisement for Mountain Valley water. Look.
Oh, shit.
It's right
here. You guys can't see this at home, but
and it's obnoxious.
She pulled out the biggest bottle a human being can hold in their hands legally of Mountain Valley. Not sparkling either. The red kind. That regular. Plain old red kind.
And when you walk into a room with like a bottle of water that's the size of like your newborn child.
Sure.
You can't help but talk about it. Like, I'll talk about water and my favorite moisturizer all day, any day.
Yeah.
I'll do it. So I would say I'm open to other people's choices, but.
Okay. You haven't reached anti-vaxxer, protester kind of energy around water, but you are more than happy to preach the good word whenever possible.
I'm quite tired most of the time. So just like leaving the house and like, you're going out into the world is enough for me. So no, I'm not super, super passionate about it. I'm pretty chill.
You know, some people might say you'd feel less tired if there were fluoride in your water. If you had a big old dose of fluoride, you'd have a burst of energy.
Maybe. I don't know. I would love to be proven wrong. I spend a lot of money on water, I'm realizing, but you know, I feel like I'm right. I really do.
All right. Fair enough. I feel like I'm right is not really a good argument for anybody, frankly, but I do think it's an exciting one for this podcast of just being like, no, I feel like I'm right. We're good.
Good vibes around the idea, you know?
Okay. Do you or have you done any personal sort of like research examination of this conspiracy theory? Like besides your mother's suggestions, have you personally ever like gone and done any of like the hard work to find out if there's legitimacy to her claims?
I like to have conversations with like strangers about it.
Yeah.
But I don't really want to Google it. Just in case I'm wrong. I like living in this bubble of like what I believe is correct, you know?
Yeah, I think it's interesting you say that because I don't think I've ever thought about it that way. But I do think that is in part why a lot of people turn to conspiracy theory and don't want to let them go. Is that like, I think a part of us is like, nah, I built a beautiful bubble here. Like I have all the things I need in this pocket of information, and to burst that bubble means that my things go away, and I don't want my things to go away, so I'll stay here.
Yeah, it kind of starts to become part of your identity at some point too.
Yeah.
Like it's your belief system, you know, and all you have to do is just not Google it.
Sure.
If anyone wants any tips for staying in denial, you can reach out to me.
I cannot tell you how much I love the phrase. I want to put this on. If we had a website, I'd put it up there. All you have to do is not Google it. And you can believe, I think, in anything. That's amazing. So, okay, before we go to break, you have not Googled it. You are not necessarily interested in bursting your bubble and finding out what's on the other side of this bad boy, but you do love talking to strangers about it. Has there ever been a conversation you've had with someone where you were like, phenomenal work, sir and or madam. You are truly adding to the joy and energy that I feel around fluoride in water conversations?
Well, you know, I feel like there's like a similar thing that happens like where I grew up in Australia, there was like maybe 5 other Black people in the entire town. And so we would I would walk past people and you like nod at them. You're like, what's up? Oh my God, look at you. Why are you in Australia? And and I feel like with the water thing, like if I see another person like holding a bottle of Mountain Valley, it's that same like what's up?
This is a person in the know.
Yeah.
This is I see you, sister. I see you, brother. We are one and the same in this, at least in this small way.
Yeah, quite spiritual, really.
I love that. Mountain Valley, bringing people together for psychotic reasons, but bringing them together all the same. I hope they do endorse us now. I hope that Mountain Valley wants a small taste of My Mama Told Me.
I hope so too.
I hope they regret it immediately after, but they should like it. Anyway, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Aisha Dee and more My Mama Told Me. And we are back.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water. Please help me. Here too much raining.
Yeah, we're back here with more Aisha Dee, more My Mama Told Me. We're still talking about the potential poisons, the mind control toxins being infused in our water, in our tap water, in our everyday water. When you go to restaurants and they ask for if you want water, do you always specifically, before they even get to like tap or sparkling or whatever, you always just jump ahead of that?
Sometimes, listen, I can't be good 100% of the time. I will say there are times when I've just had like, like a diner. You don't want to be like that guy. Yeah. So you've got to read the room really.
Yeah.
And I'm big on peer pressure. So if I'm with someone that's like, no, we'll just do tap. I'm like, yeah, of course, that's totally fine. And then I like cry the whole way home.
Sure. You're like, if everybody's having some mind control, I'll have a little mind control.
Yeah.
We'll split some mind control at the table.
Mm-hmm. It's nice like that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let's dig into some of this research because I think based on the fact that you are so committed to this conspiracy theory, a great deal of this is actually going to make you feel more confident about your decision to avoid fluoride. I think. I'm not 100% sure. And keep in mind, I am an idiot. I do this research on Google and I mostly do it for the sake of jokes, not because I'm an actual scientist. I don't know if me waving this stick around makes me look more legitimate, but it is the stick of an edible arrangement that was given to us, and it's just where the pineapple used to be and the stick is now in my hand. I'm just offering you information.
It's doing great things for you. I think you should keep it. Keep it around.
Yeah. Okay, so the government claims that fluoride was originally added to our water as an aid in helping to reduce cavities and tooth decay by as much as 25% in both children and adults. That was the original motive for adding fluoride to the water, was to make sure that your teeth do not decay. So, and this originally happened around the mid-40s. I think 1945 was the first introduction of fluoride to at least American water, right? In the U.S., it was so widely sort of like supported by the CDC that it has now been documented as one of the 10 greatest public health achievements of the 20th century. That like, it's between this and seat belts in cars that they're like, yo, this shit is groundbreaking changes that we made for our population in making the world a better place. So that part, not as supportive of your argument.
But it feels so self-congratulatory and I don't trust it.
I like that. Hey, wait a minute.
So that's how they get you.
That's how they get you, right? Is that this is all the government celebrating the government for some shit that the government did, and that feels weird.
It does.
Okay. So here's where stuff starts to get even more interesting. is that despite all of that self-congratulation, there are recent studies that have shown that the early conclusions about fluoride, most of which were finished by 1975, were deeply flawed. That they aren't as foolproof as the government would like us to believe.
Go on. I'm so ready to be right. Yes!
I love that. I love that you're just waiting with bated breath just for me to be like, you were right, Aisha. This was a massive mistake.
That's right.
Now, the original studies apparently, while they were correct in saying that there were improvements in the quality of people's teeth in terms of tooth decay and lack of cavities, all of that shit, what these studies didn't take into account is how much fluoride is being added to our dental products, which easily could account for the reduction in our decaying teeth, right? That like there's fluoride in our toothpaste. We brush our teeth with that toothpaste, but we spit it out. And that would make our teeth better and could be the reason our teeth are improving without needing to drink the water stuffed with fluoride and poison our brains. Thoughts?
Literally,
anything?
If I had a microphone, I would drop it. I think, like, not that I did this research, but like,
emotionally,
I didn't even need Google.
You played your part. You were. They were like, this girl seems committed to our world, our conspiracy. So we're doing this for her.
Wow. Wait, okay, go on. I'm ready for this to keep validating me. So like this is doing wonders.
Listen, I often find myself dancing between conspiracy theorist and person who just wants to be free and go outside. So sometimes I'm like, I don't know what the fuck the government's doing, but they ain't attacking me personally. I'll let them be. Sure. That said, I walked into this not necessarily a firm believer in anything fluoride related. I'll drink out of a puddle. I don't give a fuck. But apparently, I probably shouldn't be doing that because there is even more evidence that fluoride does have potential downfalls. So, for example, excessive fluoride causes, and this is some of the things that came out of this study, that excessive fluoride causes fluorosis, which changes in tooth enamel that range from barely noticeable white spots to staining and pitting. Fluoride can also become concentrated in a bone and stimulating bone cell growth, altering the tissue structure and weakening the skeleton. So basically, too much fluoride, it basically does more damage to your bones than the fluoride that is helping to prevent tooth decay actually is helping, if that makes sense.
Okay, so my dad said fluoride makes your teeth fall out. And I didn't bring that in my argument because I thought it was bullshit and I didn't want to like weaken my argument. But now I'm realizing he was right too.
You owe your father a deep apology.
Yeah.
That man was spitting truth and you ignored him and told him he wasn't even worth mentioning on a very serious podcast.
He'll be very happy to know that I have regrets about that.
Here's where it gets even crazier. High levels of fluoride may be toxic to brain and nerve cells, studies say. Studies have also identified possible links to learning, memory, and cognition deficits, that it can fuck up our brains. Even more so, there is a recent study that came out in 2017, I believe, and this is where it gets complicated, where they found some correlation between pregnant mothers drinking fluoride and the IQs of the boy babies that come on the other side of their pregnancy. That apparently fluoride is making boy babies dumber and for some reason not affecting the girls. Now, this is where it gets complicated because we're talking about a study that even the scientists who did the shit aren't saying is conclusive evidence to remove fluoride completely. They're saying there is plenty of evidence that it's good for your teeth, and we can't prove fully that it's bad for your brain and certainly the brains of boy babies, but we are seeing a correlation and more study needs to be done to definitively say what needs to happen beyond this.
So what is the real story here? Because it seems like there's so much evidence and nobody is pulling the trigger and saying, just take it out. How complicated is it to take?
I love that you're asking that question, because what a segue for me to move into the next point. Truly, this is a goddamn, we're doing a tango here, and you dipped me and I got scared, but you lifted me back up and we're ready to keep moving
now
forward.
Twirl, bitch. Come on.
So the original, because I asked that same question, right? Where does this come from? If everybody is saying that fluoride has like these mixed interpretations and all of these things, the problem, and it turns out that in the scientific community, fluoride is like a battle right now, that they're actually having a lot of infighting in the scientific community because of the dangerous language and conversations happening around fluoride, that they're afraid of releasing certain studies that say bad things about fluoride because it just empowers a lot of people on the internet to take that in a completely opposite or more extreme direction. Mm-hmm. So these scientists are basically saying, yo, we did a study. Turns out there is some correlation between babies having slightly lower IQs from mothers who are drinking fluoride. We haven't seen enough correlations to prove the fluoride is responsible. But then a person like Alex Jones reads that study from legit scientists and goes, fluoride's killing our babies' brains. Mm. And because he has access to the exact same information that every scientist has access to, and now has more followers than the CDC does, he has more power to manipulate that information, even if what he's manipulating isn't fully correct.
Right. Well, that's why people need us.
Sure.
We're the only legit source on the fluoride conversation. So you're welcome, everybody.
That's why they need us. Mountain Valley's #1 and #2 salesmen. Yep. We are the only source that people should trust. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then it got me asking the question, where did this original mind control conversation come from, right? Because none of this is necessarily saying that the government introduced it for mind control. It just is saying that the government might be irresponsible in their handling and sort of continuation of adding fluoride to our water. But it turns out that the original conversation about mind control comes from, you guessed it, Nazi Germany. That Nazis used to use fluoride as a form of exactly what your mom said, that they used the fluoride on the people in the internment camps, in the concentration camps, to sedate them and control them and keep them a little more docile than they were before.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they were basically using it as a nerve gas to keep people chill while they murdered them.
Do they still use fluoride in other shit? Like, I know fluoride is in our toothpaste, and it's in our water.
Yeah, I don't.
Where
I think
else
it's
is
in
fluoride?
I think it's in chocolate, apparently. I think there's some other shit that fluoride shows up in that isn't just water and toothpaste.
If it's in the wine, I'm fucked.
Oh.
Well,
that's a cool way to say you're an addict, and I love it.
Thanks, I am pretty cool. People say that a lot. They don't.
Yeah, I don't think that fluoride is just limited to water and toothpaste. And I do think it's a lot of places. What I will also say, being a responsible fake researcher, is that the Nazis were apparently using it as a gas and in extreme doses, not as a very small addition to water. So I don't know that the effects would be anywhere near the same as they would be in drinking a small amount of it versus being fucking, this being the only thing you're inhaling as you are being put down in a concentration camp.
That's so interesting. I've never heard that before about fluoride.
Yeah. Even crazier, part of where our conspiracy theory and sort of like this continuation of the conspiracy theory comes from is actually, we were talking Hollywood earlier. It comes from Hollywood, that the film Dr. Strangelove, which came out in 1964, suggests that fluoride is being added to our water for the exact same reason that we're hearing mind control, all of the things, but it's a fictional film. And so people, I think, are conflating the Nazis' effort and this film and all of like the language around it and making it a permanent fact in their lives rather than trusting science, be science trustworthy or not trustworthy.
You know,
it's a breather.
I still feel validated though. Like, I don't mean to bring it back to myself.
Sure.
But like, I just feel that it's also valid. And I'm also like, I'm realizing my mom is a little smarter than I thought she was. And I know it's in small amounts, but like small amounts over a whole lifetime.
Yes, it will have an effect. It probably, adds up as we move.
If we're talking science, it's a lot of.
Yeah, it's a lot of hand motions that aren't good for an audio medium. But
jazz hands, etc.
You should know that we've been doing sign language through this entire episode, and we are being funny as fuck with our fingers. We're doing okay on the audio version, but we're killing with our fingers. I will say that the additional sort of like wild part of this is the timing of everything, right? That Nazi Germany is using this to control the people that are being held in concentration camps. And then in 1945, America starts introducing it to our own water supply. Now, whether that was intentional or accidental, as a conspiracy theorist, I look at that timing and I go, fuck you, bitch. You tried to get me. And I see exactly what motivated you trying to get me. And it's because you learned from those goddamn Nazis.
Yeah, I don't trust it. Not that I did before, but the timing is a little too convenient.
It's scary, the timing, certainly. Now, all of the government websites, and this continues even to Australia, because I took some time to look up the Australian government websites and their relationship to fluoride, but all of the government websites around the world still maintain that fluoride, and this is in places where fluoride is added. A lot of countries do not add fluoride to their water, and to further support your point, they have seen the same downfall in tooth decay as we have seen in countries where we do add fluoride to the water. Now, that's not to say that the number of people with decaying teeth are equal, right? Like, I'm not saying that, but I am saying that they've seen the same drop off that we have seen in terms of like the general percentage, if that makes sense.
Okay, so what the fuck, CDC? Explain yourself.
I don't know. But, and I think that's really the question that sort of lives on the back end of this what the fuck CDC is like, if you're telling me that this thing is still good for my teeth and it doesn't have enough damaging effect on my brain, and all of the studies that are coming out are incomplete studies, which all may be very true, you have not necessarily proven why this is essential to me being able to move forward in society and life and all of the things, why this has to be in my water versus why this has been added for a reason unknown.
Yeah. Well, should we take this to them? Like, I'm ready to go all the way with this. I'm ready to not do that much, but I'll... there's some stuff that I'll do.
All the way. Not all the way, but you know what I mean. I'm ready to talk about it now, and then once we hang up this Zoom, probably never talk about it again.
Oh, I'll consider leaving my postcode. I might, jump on Instagram, social media.
Please don't do that. I do not want to be responsible for a change in your career because you decided that this was enough motivation to go against big fluoride.
Big fluoride? Yeah. No fear of me taking to social media, like, ever. Maybe a few times a year, but...
Sure.
Trying my best. Anyway.
Yeah, let's sit this one out. I don't know that it's worth it, but I do think if I were to pull any big conclusion out of everything that I read, you opting to just drink Mountain Valley sounds like a better choice than to overexpose yourself to whatever might be in our water.
Thank you so much. I'd like to bow. I know that.
Again, they cannot hear bows, but please know she bowed in 3 directions as if the audience were circular shaped in front of her.
Well, a vivid imagination.
An imagination brought to you by not fluoride. Mm-hmm. That's right, folks. You too can dream if you want to stop drinking fluoride, start drinking water out of big ass glass bottles is what we say.
Big ass glass bottles. That'll be.
All right, we're going to take one more break. We'll be back with more Aisha Dee and more My Mama Told Me. And we are back. Yeah, we're back here with more Aisha Dee, more My Mama Told Me. We're still talking about that goddamn fluoride and the government trying to trick us into drinking their mind control water. Fuck you, government. Fuck you always, I think is maybe a better tag for this show. Fuck you, government. Fuck you always feels like the right instinct.
Yeah, XOXO, Langston. I just wanted to add another little tag.
Yeah, I don't want to be mean to them. I give them little hugs and kisses right after I yell at them, but I do need them to know that I'm aware of their bad behavior. Mm-hmm. All right, let's play a game. I have a fun game planned for us. It's our most classic game on this podcast. It's a beautiful game called White Lies.
Ugly, you are disgusting. I'm going to kill you. Give me $200.
White Lies. This is a fun game, Aisha, where I am going to introduce to you a commonly held white conspiracy theory, one that white people seem to be really latching on to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And what I would love for you to do is tell me why you think this conspiracy theory is so important to the white community. What do you think they're invested in? What do you think these sneaky motherfuckers are up to? You know what I mean?
I got you.
Hell yeah. All right, this is a fun one. This is actually completely new to me, but apparently has been around since 1976. But apparently, and I wonder if you've heard of this, but there is a conspiracy theory that maintains that birds aren't real. There are no such thing as birds. I'll explain a little bit more, but looking at your face, you do not have any prior knowledge of this conspiracy theory.
I don't.
Great.
I need further explanation. They're not here, really?
Apparently, there is an argument that all birds have been systematically exterminated and replaced with exact replica drones. That these drones are basically tools of the CIA, that the CIA poisoned off all the birds with chemtrails and then replaced the birds with drones so that they could spy on their populations. Mm-hmm. And my question for you is, what do you think, or why rather do you think white people are so invested in this conspiracy theory?
Well, I really have to tap into my Caucasian side with this one. Sure. Like I have to just, my third eye really see it.
Yeah.
This is a really funny one to me. I personally have a fear of birds. So I know for a fact they're real. I've been stalked by birds.
I'm sorry. I don't think you get to continue after I've been stalked by birds. You have to explain under what circumstances was a bird hanging out in your bushes and staring in at you while you showered or whatever the fuck you're referring to.
Well, look, I get the mistrust of birds, but they certainly exist. They're certainly there. Do you know what a magpie is?
I've heard the word. I don't know that I know what you're describing, so tell me, please.
Okay, so a magpie is a bird in Australia. They're like black and white. And at certain times of the year, they get very aggressive.
Whoa.
And I used to walk to school. Oh, I'm getting like flustered. I used to walk. I used to walk to school, and there was this one magpie that every morning when I would walk to school was like, "Oh, the bitch is back," and would like magpies have killed people in Australia.
Shit.
That I don't know if that's real.
Okay, all right. Wait a minute.
That might be a lie, but my whole life I've heard that magpies are deadly because they're really fast and they like swoop down on you and they don't give up. Like,
and this specific magpie specifically focused on you and had beef with you.
Yes, every morning.
Yeah.
Like true beef. Like I saw the look in its eyes. It was like, oh, here she is again. Fucking one. I didn't have another way to walk to school. It's the only route to get there. So look, I guess. Well, now I'm buying into the whole theory. Maybe that was the CIA.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh no. The white devil got you. What are we gonna do?
Cassidy really just like jumped the fuck out. I guess we all kind of feel like we're being watched. I'm trying to have empathy here.
I like where you're going. I'm listening.
This is so hard for me to get into this mindset because birds are so real for me personally. Yeah. They're a big part of my experience here on Earth.
I will say that, and maybe this only supports your concern about the magpies, is that crows apparently are very good at memorizing faces, that they can remember human beings and have been known to seek vengeance on people who have wronged them or hurt them. Now, I've never heard of crows killing people, and certainly not in the way that you're describing, where it's like a needle point to the neck. Like the magpies, but there is evidence of crows. You throw a rock at a crow, and the next day that same crow is like, crowing at you from the trees because it recognizes, hey, bitch, you the one that threw that rock. I'll never forgive you.
I mean, I will say that I think like white people think maybe that the government is smarter than they are. I got a little piece of cardboard to say that I was vaccinated, and we just had like a sticker on it. So I don't know if I believe that, that they're capable of like creating this drone that remembers you, and is going to attack you with such precision. But I think maybe that's where we kind of, that's where the part of me just splits into two.
I will say I like that argument, though. I think that's a reasonable argument that has long been proven through a lot, especially in the COVID of it all, is that like white people really think the government is like this brilliant, evil entity, like sort of world power that's just controlling every facet of our lives. And I think people who have been more actively abused by the government, certainly intentionally abused by the government, would say like, no, these motherfuckers ain't smart. They're just rich and powerful and can do whatever they want, and they don't care about our well-being one way or the other.
Yeah, they're not smart. They're just doing stuff because they can.
Yes, exactly. And so they're probably not replacing birds with drones or putting microchips in the vaccines. They're probably just like trying out some shit on us. And if it works, they win. And if it doesn't, they'll say sorry in 88 years when no one else is alive.
Just throw some fluoride in there.
Yeah.
Sounds nice. It has a nice ring to it. Let's just, throw it in there.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And if we control them afterwards, that's fucking sweet. That's a sweet +1 to this wedding invite,
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, Aisha, I think we did it. I think we nailed the episode. Truly one of our more classic, definitely our most classic sign language episode. One of our more classic episodes, all in all. Could you tell the people where they can find you and what cool shit you have going on?
Oh, sure. I'm on social media and stuff because I am a millennial. I'm at Aisha Dee on Instagram. I haven't been on Twitter in about 5 years, but I'm there too. And, I'm chilling right now. I'm unemployed and it's lovely. But check out our Audible series.
Yeah, do that unemployed shit.
That's right. I'm fun employed.
Okay, that sounds sick. That sounds like a person decaying. But unemployed and loving it, I can live with that. But fun employed sounds like you're hanging out at the mall and getting phone numbers. And I don't want that for you. So don't be fun employed.
It's fine. It'll all be over soon. So I'm trying to enjoy it while I can,
Hell
sleeping
yeah.
in, stuff like that. Doing podcasts like this.
Well, please follow Aisha. And as always, you can follow me at Langston Kerman on all platforms. And if you want to send us drops, if you want to send us your own conspiracy theories, if you just want to send hateful messages to me personally that'll break my heart and you know what, stun my fucking daughter, then you can send those to mymommapod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, me and the baby. Otherwise, I don't know. Bye, bitch.